Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us for today's Small Business Bootcamp. I am Robert Theobald, Small Business Ombudsman and Vice President of Small Business Services here at the Arizona Commerce Authority, and your host for today's session. What we like to do at the beginning of these, if you're new, is post up in the chat where you're tuning in from. We like to see where our attendees are from around the state, and sometimes from other states and even other countries. So post up where you're at, and so we can see. We've got Jennifer from Sholo. Got Chandler, Phoenix, Glendale, Wilcox, Yuma, Peoria, Phoenix, Pinetop, Scottsdale, Gilbert, Mesa, Phoenix, Yuma, Sholo, Moore. All right, Casa Grande, Flagstaff, Buckeye, Tucson, Glendale, Kingman, Peoria, Casa Grande, Chandler, Prescott Valley. Excellent. We have people from all over Maricopa, from all over the state. We're glad to have you with us today. We've got a great session in store, so thank you for sharing that information with us. So one of the things we like to do as we start the boot camps is we like to recognize all of our community partners. This is just a sample of the 120 plus community partners that have participated in the boot camp. We could not do these boot camp webinar sessions without them, their time, their effort, and their expertise. Also, those that are new to the boot camp, the Small Business Boot Camp is designed to help small businesses prepare, plan, and grow. It is not only our Tuesday morning webinar that we're on right now, but it is also a series of workshops, both virtual and in person, and other programs that may support small businesses, lunch and learns and so forth. So it's a great program. We like to do as many virtually as possible so we can then record them and include them in our content library. Our content library is available to you at the bottom of the Small Business Bootcamp registration page. And in there we have all of our previously recorded webinars, well over 300, that you can access at any time, both the recording and the slide decks from our presenters. So it's an amazing resource available to you as well at no cost. The ACA also has a number of other programs to help support small businesses. I'm not going to read through these, but you can find more details on them at azcommerce.com/programs. One thing I do like to mention is our small business checklist. You can scan that QR code with your phone if you're not on your phone right now, and it'll take you to it. But on our website, you find a small business checklist, and it's an online interactive resource for entrepreneurs and new business owners to identify the commonly requested licensing, registration, and compliance requirements at the local, state, and federal levels. We include, for example, every incorporated city or town in Arizona to help identify if you need a business license in that community. There's a lot of other great information that can be helpful to you as you are starting and running your business. Some updates we want to share too to help support small businesses is SCORE, who is an SBA supported program that we do some things with every so often. We like to do with this recently around the boot camp with their ABCs of Starting Business. They're hosting some CEO forums. We're going to post the link for these in the chat so you can access those. And then Verizon has posted up that their Small Business Digital Ready grant is open. There's a short window to apply. You have until April 8th to apply for that if you're part of that program. And then the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center, is another partner of ours, is doing a two-part course called Profit Soup Financial Courses. And there's no cost to participate in those. And they're going to be April 10th and April 24th from 10 to 11 a.m. So we'll post a link for that information as well. So with that, we want to share some other information. We've just opened the applications for our Small Business Digital Academy. This is a cohort program a 3-week program that we host every quarter. And if you're interested in that, you can go to the website. Again, we'll post that link as well in the chat. And you can find out more information on this program and apply if it's something that you're interested in. And last, we have some great upcoming sessions we want to share. First is our Canva Mastery Bootcamp. So next week, we're going to have a Canva expert come on and show you how to use Canva to benefit your business. We're really excited about that. It's a brand new session we haven't done yet. And then on April 16th, we have constructing and updating your core marketing message, again, with another new presenter. And then on April 23rd, we have a great session, Capital Readiness 101. This is a new workshop that we'll be doing both virtually and will be occurring around the state in person with our partners at Prestamos CDFI. And it's going to dive deep into what businesses need to know about being capital ready, and then also how to access those funds when you are ready. So we're really excited about this kickoff. It's part of our kickoff for the State Small Business Credit Initiative program as well. So we hope you can join us for those upcoming sessions. And with that, we're going to jump into today's session. Oh, sorry, I forgot. This is an important one too. On April 12th, Friday, is one of our lunch and learns that we are doing with the Arizona Small Business Association. And it's a small business guide to harnessing untapped talent resources. We know a lot of small businesses and businesses in general are struggling to find quality workers, and this is going to touch on a resource for workers that most people haven't thought of. So we hope you can join us for that session and learn how to leverage those resources. So with that, we will jump into today's session. And today we have one of our partners from the Small Business Development Center, Kevin Connors. He's a center director for the Central Arizona College Small Business Development Center. He's also a former business owner. And why he's here today talking about AI and ChatGPT is he has dug in deep and practiced and done a lot of stuff to see how it can benefit both his clients and how AI would have helped him with his previous business that he owned, and he'll dive into that. So with that, we're going to turn the time over to Kevin. While Kevin's getting set up, I want to remind everybody, please use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen for questions. We have a packed presentation today with a lot of information, and we hope to get to the questions, but we will answer those at the end of the session, depending on how much time we have. So be mindful, but if Kevin can't get to those questions today, by using the Q&A, we can also then, I can send those questions to him and he can reach out to you directly for those answers. So with that, Kevin, the time is yours.
Thank you, Robert. Let me go ahead and share the presentation. All good there, Robert?
Yep.
Thank you. Thanks for that introduction, Robert. My name is Kevin Connors. We're going to talk about ChatGPT for Business today. This is part of our Realize Your Dream series from the Central Arizona College Small Business Development Center. So we'll get into that in a little bit. Begin with my thank you again to Arizona Conference Authority for allowing me to give this presentation. And I'd like to say something about the Arizona Boot Camp and the collection of all of those presentations. They are a tremendous resource for all of us. I've attended over 50 of them and found every one of them to be a very good use of my time. So thank you to the ACA for what a wonderful resource that is. All right. So here's what we're going to do today. I'll start with an introduction. We'll then move to the learning objective, what I'm hoping you'll get out of today's presentation. We'll talk about what ChatGPT is, what it's good for. I'll then get into a demo. I'll speak just very briefly about the SBDC at Central Arizona College and the Arizona SBDC in general. And then lastly, if you have any questions, please, as Robert said, put those in the Q&A and we'll address them at the end. So, as Robert said, I am the director of the Central Arizona College SBDC. I had 15 years in corporate America. I was in various levels of that world. In the publishing business, I rose to a director of marketing. In 2004, I said, you know, I want to do my own gig. So I started a photography studio and gallery in San Diego. I realized a modicum of success. And I had the greatest 10 years of my life. Notice that I was 15 years in business, though. The first 10 years were wonderful. the last 5 years were OMG. The ubiquity of digital cameras finally caught up with me. I lasted longer than most, but sure enough, that eventually came to my door. I had to close my retail location, move everything back into my residence, rewrite the business plan like multiple times, break up the company into a couple of pieces, start teaching at the local college. Literally anything that I could do to pay my mortgage. So I know the great moments of owning a business. I also know the tough times. Here's the learning objective for today. I'm hoping that you'll gain a fundamental understanding of ChatGPT and AI in general, what it is, how it works, how to use it, and what to use it for. Hopefully that's what you'll gain from today's presentation. All righty. Well, let me take a sip of water first. So for those of you who haven't been introduced to ChatGPT before, let me apologize. Ever heard of Skynet? This is overly dramatic, of course, but Skynet is the company that owned the robots that took over the world in the series of films which starred Arnold Schwarzenegger. You'll know what that is. But in essence, what I'm doing is showing you or giving you a glimpse of what eventually, jokingly, at least right now, will be the destruction of the human race. That's over dramatic, obviously, but I'm having a little fun with it. So the image that you see here, and then the images that are appearing in the lower left-hand corner, these were all created using an AI engine called Mage.space. I didn't even know there was a .space in the internet world until last year when a client introduced me to this. But I created these images by giving the AI instructions called prompts. We'll get to that in a moment. But I gave the instructions basically down there: create an image of a robot-led destruction of the world for a presentation on the negative aspects of AI. The image must show massive destruction of a city with robots responsible for the destruction in plain view. So I told Mage.space to create realistic images based upon those words. And within a few seconds, it created those various images that you see there. So just having a little fun with it. So what is ChatGPT? Let's begin with this. It's developed by a company called OpenAI, which is Microsoft backed. And in fact, their initial was at about 15 billion. I think they're well over 20 billion into OpenAI now. For those of you who are curious, the GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Yeah, that sounds like Skynet to me. And there are many, many others out there now. Google has its Gemini, which was formerly Bard. You may have heard about that in the news over the past month. Meta or Facebook. Meta has Llama. IBM, Watson, which you've probably seen in commercials for quite some time, actually. And you've likely been one of the users for these kinds of things, starting with Siri, Alexa, Hey Google. Hope my phone doesn't go off. So you've probably been using these kinds of things. Pardon me. In general, these are called large language models, or LLMs. You'll also hear them referred to as generative AI or chatbots. All of these things describe the thing that we're talking about today. Basically, these engines go out and they capture vast amounts, and they capture all the information that's out there, basically. And they use what's most important, I think, for understanding how this works. They use natural language to communicate. And by that, I mean, you can enter in instructions, you can talk to the AI using normal language. You don't need to know any computer code or any special characters. You just type in as if you were speaking. And in fact, the AI will then give you back natural language as well. Very, very important part of this whole thing. It can learn a little bit. Now, again, this isn't truly AI. We'll get to that in a minute. But it can learn from the way you speak with it. Type in instructions, that is. There are two versions of ChatGPT. This is on a freemium model, if you will. The free version, and I'll use that in quotes, is ChatGPT 3.5. It is limited to scouring the internet to September of 2021. So this free version doesn't know anything that occurred in the world after that time. I'm using quotes around free because we should all know that if anything is free out there on the internet, then we ourselves, us, are the product, our data, our information. I don't believe ChatGPT shares that information, at least I haven't read that. But they are certainly gathering information on you. So that's what free gets us. Nothing is free in this world. There is a paid version of ChatGPT called 4.0, ChatGPT Plus, and that's $20 a month. My boss has gone to that version, and he says it's like night and day. There also are some added functionalities within the Plus version. Their graphics program, for instance, called DALL-E, is now built into that, for instance. All right. Continuing this what is ChatGPT thing, it is the fastest growing app in the history of the internet. That's something to say. It was released on November 30th of 2022. In 5 days, roughly, it had 1 million users. And by the end of that month, end of December of 2022, it had over 1 million users. And just to put that in context, here are some relative ages or times it took to reach 1 million users for other applications. Twitter took 2 years. Spotify took 2.5 months. And by the way, that last one there is Threads, took hours. But if you know about that, Threads was the Twitter competitor, or now X competitor, from Facebook Meta. It reached 1 million users in hours, but as you might know, it has really fallen by the wayside at this point. So, fastest growing app in the history of the internet, that's saying something. So, ChatGPT is technically an army of writers, researchers, marketers, editors, and a whole lot more ready to take on whatever you throw at it 24/7. So it's available, obviously, anytime you want it. In general, and this is a great generalization, it can help you, in the instance of this graphic, go from writing something that may, say, take you 44 minutes to writing even a whole lot more in a snap. It is a tool. In my personal opinion, it's really wonderful for creating blog posts, social media content, press releases, product descriptions. There's those photorealistic images, market research. In fact, if you can think it up, you can probably get some help from these engines, and in particular, ChatGPT. So here's a quote. You take a sip. ChatGPT, where human curiosity meets artificial intelligence. It's like having a conversation with the smartest encyclopedia that never sleeps. If you don't know who made that quote, that's because I just asked ChatGPT to give me what it thinks of itself. So it's very proud of itself, let's put it that way. This was ChatGPT on ChatGPT. How does ChatGPT work? Well, you sign up just like Gmail. So you go to the website, you click try or sign up, and you give it your email, you create a password, and boom, you've got an account in ChatGPT. You give it instructions, and these instructions in the AI world are called prompts. You can also tell it what not to do. Those are called anti-prompts. So now we're starting to introduce some AI-specific language. Whenever you give it instructions, that's called a prompt. As I mentioned before, it uses natural language. No need for computer coding here. You write in your prompts just as if you were writing anything to anyone else. And of course, as we said, it will generate human-like text responses as well. So you can have a conversation with this thing. And when you do that, you can actually add refinements further prompting it to refine the responses that you're trying to get out of it. We'll show some examples of that. You can then cut and paste the results, say, into a Word document. I'm hoping we have enough time for me to show you that. And but just one thing to always be aware, buyer beware, caveat emptor. It's never perfect, at least not from my perspective. It can get me 70, 75, 80% of the way of what I might have been looking for, but I'm always going to have to go in and review it and make some changes. Lastly, you can actually create customizations. You can now, there are so many add-ins now that are available on the internet for making your ChatGPT, in this case, more robust. Lots of stuff happening. It's changing every day. Every time I do this presentation, I have to review every slide to make sure that it's up to date, believe it or not. All right. What ChatGPT isn't? It's not technically artificial intelligence. It's just very sophisticated programming. It only knows what it's been programmed to do. So in theory, and I say that warily, in theory, it's not going, at least this stuff that we're seeing right now, is not going to become sentient. In other words, it doesn't know that it's actually alive, so to speak. In theory, these engines will not become HAL 9000 in 2001: A Space Odyssey. That said, I tend to listen to people like Elon Musk, who said a few months ago we should halt all of this stuff so that we can see where it's going and make sure it doesn't become sentient. Although we have to also understand that Elon is also working on his own versions, and maybe that was a market reason for doing that. I don't know. It's not the end all, it's not the be all. It has quote unquote hallucinations. So just as prompts are this new terminology for adding instructions to AI, when AI gets something wrong, and it does, those are called hallucinations in the AI world. So it's very important that everything be proofread before you use it. Again, caveat emptor. If you were following maybe just a few weeks ago, you might have heard the news on the new Gemini product from Google. It had quite a few hallucinations, if you will. So just beware. Fortunately, it's not Skynet yet. So we've got a ways to go for real artificial intelligence. At least that's what I've read and what computer experts are telling me. Pardon me. So why use ChatGPT? For me, it saves time and it increases productivity. It's extremely cost effective. I have yet to go to the paid version, by the way. You can automate repetitive tasks. This one is good and bad. You can reduce the need for additional staff for routine activities. I'm always wary of that. These are human lives. But the fact is, it is very cost effective, and it can truly increase the productivity of your business. Obviously, it's available all the time. It's customizable. So you can actually personalize customer experiences through this stuff. And you can literally teach it your voice. I say this literally and figuratively because you can actually teach it to give you responses that are more in tune with your business. We'll talk about that a little further, but it is being used nefariously. You may have read that criminals have used this to learn someone's voice and then make a phone call to, let's say, someone's parents. I'm stuck in Mexico, send me $500. And so, sadly, that this stuff is being used for, I'll just say it, evil purposes, but that's the way it goes. So anyways, there's the preamble to all of this. What I'd like to do now is I'm going to stop sharing this and move to ChatGPT itself. So if you'll bear with me for just a moment, I'm going to stop sharing that. And we will go to ChatGPT. If I can find it. Those screens are not showing up very well. Bear with me. Let's see if this is what it is. There we go. That's better. Here's my browser.
You got to share it because we're not seeing it on the share yet.
Yeah, no, it was very strange what happened. There was actually a second page that came up, and I'm trying to locate. Let's see there. It's available to me, but let me try it one more time. Sorry, Robert and folks who are joining us.
And we tested it. It worked earlier.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Here's the thing, when it comes to stuff like this, it's almost 100% of the time pilot error. Let's just call it that. So now, Bob, I assume you're seeing ChatGPT,
Yeah.
right? All right, good. So when you go to openai.com, this is what you're going to see. I decided to start right from the beginning for this presentation. I already have a login, so that's where we're going to go, because it turns out if I go to try ChatGPT, it takes me to the login anyways. But you would likely go here first to try it. So you can get a free sample of this thing. But I'm going to go ahead into my login, and we'll go from there. Things are moving slowly. Oh, look at this. That's different. I'm going to click on ChatGPT. And this time it's automatically logged me in, so it must have remembered something. In any case, here is the main interface for ChatGPT. In the upper left-hand corner here, you'll see that it distinctly notes ChatGPT 3.5. I can pull that down, and at any time I can upgrade to the plus version. If you recall, that's $20 a month. On the left-hand side are the chats that I've used before, so it remembers your sessions. You can easily delete them if you want, but it actually remembers everything you've done. In the main section of the interface is where all the happiness happens. There's some prefab stuff here, like planning trips, planning tours, but the main thing is here, message ChatGPT. This is where you use prompts, okay? So this is where we're going to enter the instructions called prompts here in ChatGPT. Now, what I've done for the purposes of time here is I have actually created some prompts. And rather than me typing them in and taking too much time, I'm going to paste a prompt in here. So assume I just typed this all in. You own a mining town real estate company in Superior, Arizona. Superior has a rich history in the mining industry. When the mines closed, many of those living in Superior had to find other ways to make a living. Superior, Arizona is now growing again and seeks to be a destination for those seeking a getaway from the Valley of the Sun. I'm going to add one little bit now. So I just gave it a little background, right? I'm going to add one little bit here. I'm going to paste this final prompt into it. Write a marketing plan for your business as if you were a 20-year veteran marketer. Include value proposition, tagline, marketing activities to drive business, and a SWOT analysis. So now I've just given it the full prompt. I'm going to click the enter button or send message. And now you're going to watch ChatGPT go to work. So it's answering those tasks that I actually gave it, that prompt that I entered. It's now writing all of this, even with a nice little conclusion. I'm going to go ahead and scroll back up. Notice that it repeats the prompt. By the way, and whenever I'm cutting and pasting into Word, I find it very important to include the prompt so that I know what I used to get these results. So, marketing plan for mining town real estate in Superior, Arizona. I should say it's also important to be as specific as possible. The more specific you can be in your prompts, the better the results you're going to get. There's an executive summary. Mining Town Real Estate aims to capitalize on the growing interest in Superior, Arizona as a weekend getaway destination for residents of Phoenix and the surrounding Valley of the Sun. That right there, maybe that would have taken me 5 minutes to think up and to craft that language. So right there, we're seeing a savings in time. Here's the value proposition. Offers a blend of historical charm and modern comfort, providing visitors with an immersive experience in Superior's rich mining heritage. This thing writes pretty well, I got to tell you. I'm a big believer in crafting language in our businesses. I think it's a very important task so that we can communicate properly with our potential customers. This is doing quite a job on that. So here's the marketing activities: digital presence, content marketing, partnerships and collaborations, email marketing, local events, and sponsorship. There's our SWOT analysis. If you've never done a SWOT analysis, SWOT represents strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and then ultimately a conclusion here. So right there, very quickly, I probably saved myself a whole lot of time. Is it perfect? Likely not. I don't want to go through this whole thing right here. I'm trying to just give you examples. Pardon me. But the idea is, wow, this thing can get you way down the road. Let's say, for instance, you're staring at a blank screen trying to come up with this. ChatGPT can be a great way to get you started too. All right, so hopefully that gives you a quick idea of what this thing is about. Now let's refine the prompt. I'm going to work with ChatGPT to get a little bit more information. And again, to save time, I've rewritten these prompts so you don't have to sit here watching me make typing mistakes. So I'm going to paste this prompt into ChatGPT. This prompt reads, now write a social media marketing campaign that includes 3 social media posts per week for 4 weeks. Make sure to include the goal and strategies of the campaign. Anybody here do social media marketing? And we know how difficult that can be. Click the send message, or you can also press enter, by the way. And now it begins to write our social media campaign. Yes, it's doing exactly what we told it. 3 posts per week, giving you the content for that. You still need to add some images. By the way, it can likely help you with images, especially if you're in the paid version, the 4.0, which includes ChatGPT's DALL-E, their graphics image product. So here what we've just done is created 3 posts a week for your social media campaign. Again, it's likely not perfect. Again, I would probably, you have to go in and read this. You just can't cut and paste it. But, post 1, spectacular sun. Oh, there, it's even suggesting the visual that you need with it. Spectacular sunset over the mountains in Superior. Experience the magic of a Superior sunset from the comfort of your own vacation rental. Relax, unwind, and let the natural beauty of Arizona captivate your senses. Book your stay now. Wow, even has a call to action. My goodness. Plus the hashtags. That's absolutely incredible. But there you have it for 4 weeks, and you can tell it to do anything you want, it'll do it. There's even the strategy that I asked for, right? So very powerful, saving gobs of time, and terribly scary, in my opinion. All right, we're going to continue to refine the prompt. Let me go ahead and cut and paste it. Pasting into the prompt. Now create the concept for and write a plan, a full plan for a new town-wide event that will capitalize those living in, that will captivate those living in Phoenix and the Valley of the Sun enough to bring them to Superior for this big new event. Include goals, strategies, and tactics. The event should take place in a month when the temperatures are cool enough for a number of outdoor attractions. Enter. Oh boy. When I first saw this at work, I was flabbergasted. especially as a director of marketing, I'm looking at this going, oh my goodness, oh boy. There's both wonderful implications here, and we likely don't have to talk about the downside of some of these things too. So let's go back to that. There's the goal: increase tourism and foot traffic to Superior, enhance the town's reputation, generate positive media coverage, stimulate local economic growth. Those are the goals. Strategies: curate diverse outdoor activities, create engaging events and competitions. Obviously, it's got supporting bullets underneath. Highlight Superior's natural beauty, other family-friendly entertainment. Tactics. So there it gives us the strategies and then the tactics that support those strategies. Very, very impressive. Again, it's not going to be perfect. You have to scrupulously reread and then perhaps add to or delete some stuff. But quite amazing what this just did. The conclusion: Superior Adventure Fest, notice it named it, promises to be an exhilarating celebration of outdoor adventure, natural beauty, and community spirit, attracting visitors from near and far. That's some pretty good writing there. I have to admit, it does an awfully good job of that kind of thing. I've got one more refinement. So I'm going to cut and paste this, copy, pasting into ChatGPT. Now write a plan to go along with Superior Adventure Fest. Yes, I gave it the same name, to include all other businesses in Superior, Arizona. How can these other businesses participate? How can they take advantage of the event to help drive sales? How will the town of Superior, including elected officials, take advantage of this event? This is to create a win-win-win situation where mining town real estate, other Superior, Arizona businesses, and the town itself benefit and prosper. So there's my prompt. Enter. Notice it paused there. That could possibly be because we're in the 3.5 version. The 4.0 version promises faster, all those good things. Let's review. All right. Superior Adventure Fest Collaborative Plan. Oh, good way of pointing that out. Hospitality sector, retail sector, service sector. So it's describing the different sectors available for other businesses. Cross promotions, event sponsorship opportunities, interactive experiences. So it's expounding on all of those. Amazing. And let's look at the conclusion. By fostering collaboration and synergy among mining town real estate, other Superior businesses, and the town itself, Superior Adventure Fest can create a win-win-win scenario where all stakeholders benefit and prosper. What can you say to this? This is amazing technology that actually writes very good copy. As a former marketing director, it impresses me every time. Again, it's not perfect. Caveat emptor, make sure that you're reading through this. So what I want to show you next is what happens when you copy and paste this. I always work from the standpoint, I'm going to copy and paste this into a Word document. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing the browser, and I'm going to move to the actual, let me get that set first. I'm going to move to the actual results that I just obtained. So let's stop sharing the browser, and we'll go back to share, and I will share the document. There we go. All right, so now, in fact, let me bring this over to my screen that I'm looking at right now to make it better. So right now you're looking at the results from prompt A1, prompt 1 above. Again, here's the prompt. All I simply did was I copied everything in the ChatGPT response and then opened Word and simply pasted it into Word. And this is what it looks like. You got some colors, and it might be difficult to see on your computer screen, but there are actual lines around all of the results. But this is simply just copying and pasting the results from our prompts that we just did. Okay, there's the social media campaign. The further we went with all of the refinements, right? And then getting to the event and that kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the top of the page, and what I want to show you is how you can get rid of all of that formatting. It's really simple, by the way. So let's just go back to the top, because I'm going to start from the beginning. Well, there's our prompt, sorry. Here is the results. So all I got to do is select the results that I've copied into Word. I'll just do all, why not? I'll just grab all of it. So this is everything we've just done. And I'll go back to the top just for showing this off. So we've now selected all of the results. Holding the control key down, I'm a Windows user. So holding the control key down, I'm going to hold control and then tap Q. And you'll see that a lot of what was there is now gone. Some of the formatting, but some of the lines and such are still there. So after holding down the control and tapping the Q button, I hold control and hit the space button. And now all the formatting is deleted. I can always control Z that for a moment. Maybe you want to keep the bolds, but the problem is when you do that, if you might be able to see it on your screen, but those lines are still there. And I want to get rid of those lines. So again, control space gets rid of everything. So now what you've got is a clean, just a text document that then you can go back in and cut and paste, refine, add formatting, those kinds of things. So, excuse me, the purposes of showing that were just simply, how do I get rid of all of that formatting that comes from cutting and pasting ChatGPT results into a Word document? By the way, that works for any document if you do have some formatting. Control Q, control space bar. All right. So you're holding the control key down, tapping Q, holding the control key down, tapping the space bar. All right. I'm going to stop sharing that now. And I'm going to take you to one more document. Where are you? There you are. All righty. Bring it over to this screen. So this is just a simple Word document that I've borrowed nobly from jamout.ai. I've already highlighted this is content courtesy of this website, and this is a business that's in business to teach businesses how to use AI. But the website is actually, they're very generous with a number of free things that you can get there. One of them is this idea of a brand guide for training ChatGPT. I'll go ahead and highlight this now. A brand guide for training ChatGPT, Gemini, and any other large language model that you can use out there. The idea here is you want to train the AI to understand your business. You know, who are your customers? What's even your customer name, mission, vision, all of that. You can see here, for instance, you know, what kind of a business are you running? But the point is, what you do is you copy and paste this, you place it into ChatGPT. I would delete the bullets, by the way. I do that just simply so that we can see them better. But you copy and paste this directly into the prompt section of ChatGPT, and it's telling ChatGPT you must always ask questions before you answer so you can better understand what I'm requesting. So ChatGPT will literally ask, what type of business are you running? And then you provide the answer. So what you're doing again is you're creating, you're helping, in this case, ChatGPT, for instance, to better understand your business, what you do, how you do it, who your competition is, who your customers are, what's your brand, what's your SWOT, all of these kinds of things, so that when you prompt ChatGPT, it's going to give you results that are in tune with your business. In other words, it's going to speak in your voice. That's that figuratively speaking in your voice thing that we talked about earlier. In this document, by the way, and you'll see this if you go and get this from jamout.ai. Wherever you see brackets, these are simply instructions. You don't add that. But everything else, act as an expert in marketing with 20 years experience, and give me a brand guide for my business. That would be the task that you write. Then simply copy this into the prompt, hit enter, and it will ask this series of questions so that you can create a brand guide for your business. This is tremendously helpful. I currently do not have permissions to share this. That's why I'm saying if you'd like to find something like this, go to Jamout. I think there's tons of these out there now. If you just Google brand guide, or you could ChatGPT it, brand guide for training ChatGPT. Note though, if you use a free version, it only knows things before September 2021, so it likely will not have brand guides now that I think that through. So you just use Google, ask for a brand guide for ChatGPT, and you'll likely find, I'm guessing, dozens, hundreds, who knows. All right, let's go back to the presentation very quickly, and I'll finish up. Right, let me get my notes section up. All right, very good. So continuing with the presentation, I hope, there we go. So here's what I think ChatGPT is great for. I'm just going to click on all these things and bring them up. For creating business plans, it will give you a good core, but you'll still need to ask it to refine prompts quite a bit. But literally, if you can think it up, you can probably use ChatGPT for it. I've had clients who have created their employee handbooks using this, profitability models. If you're using the paid version, it actually works very well for creating websites. Even the 3.5 will generate code, but the 4.0 does a better job at that. What ChatGPT one last bit there, you can actually ask ChatGPT to create you useful prompts to use in ChatGPT. That's kind of a nice feature. What ChatGPT thinks, I asked it, hey, ChatGPT, what do you think it's great for business owners? FAQs and knowledge base, market research. Again, if you're going to do market research, you will need to go to the paid version because you want the latest and greatest. But a whole lot of stuff to be used. So in summary, ChatGPT can save time and money. And I believe the time savings alone is worth creating an account for the free version. Caveat emptor, you cannot trust it 100%. Applications are nearly endless. If you can think it up, ChatGPT will likely help you. The last bit here I think is important. This is my own opinion. I believe that AI will at least be as disruptive as the internet itself. And that means destroying jobs. It also means creating jobs, but it is going to be highly disruptive. So for a quick change of gears, I am the Small Business Development Center at Central Arizona College's director. Here is our mission. We help entrepreneurs realize their dream of business ownership, and that's through launching, growing, sustaining businesses. Our main goal is to provide economic impact to Pinal County and Arizona. Note, though, that there is an SBDC serving every county in every state, by the way, but certainly every county here in Arizona. The main things that we provide are counseling, training, and research. And all of that is at no cost to our clients. Counseling, these are one-on-one confidential sessions to provide you with much more help than you even see here. Training sessions, just as we're doing today. on all kinds of things. We've got right now our SBDC has 12 packaged presentations like this one for chambers, for business groups, that kind of thing. And lastly, our market research and benchmarks information. These are very expensive market research firms that provide industry reports. We can provide our clients with all of those at no cost. I am the director. We also have Paul Vukalis, who sits up at our Superstition Mountain campus in Apache Junction. He kind of covers Northeast County. Again, lastly, we do all that at no cost to you. Nothing is free in this world. We're all taxpayers, but we do not charge for our services. Here's some quick contact information. You can get this just by going to cacsbdc.azsbdc.net and request counseling there. But Paul and I cover all of Pinal County. That brings us to the Q&A portion of this. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing, Bob, and we'll go to that part.
Excellent. So I've been looking through the questions, and we have a little bit of time, so there's some really key ones I want to hit first.
Okay.
And this is a big one, but a very important question. So Becky, thank you for asking it. Says, are there intellectual property rights you have to be careful about? Could you publicly use the results you just got?
Well, the answer to the second part of that question is yes. I can use that just fine. This idea of IP or intellectual property is probably something that's going to be ongoing. That said, there have already been some big discussions about these things. For the most part, the answer is yes, you can use this because it's actually creating new bits, and it's set up the way as it's set up. It's designed for you to be able to use these results. Bob, I think you have some stuff to add to that, though.
I do. So one of a topic that came up with the intellectual property is there's been a number of companies that have banned using ChatGPT because internally you might be working on something and you put some of your company's intellectual property or trade secrets into the ChatGPT to develop something with it. You just gave it away.
Yeah.
You willingly gave it to the internet because you're using servers. It's going through the servers. It's going to another organization. So you just disclosed trade secrets potentially that you shouldn't have. And so this is not a secret, only on your computer type thing. If you post it in ChatGPT or in any of the other AI platforms, it is now recorded in their database. And so you want to be very careful with your company's intellectual property or trade secrets. Or if you're working on something that you don't want to share, you want to be real careful how you use that in these platforms because they are not just for your eyes only. They can be seen by other eyes.
Very true. And people lost their jobs over that.
Yeah. There's another one I want to answer real quick. It says, is this good to write my own resume? Yes, it is. But you still have to do your own personal tailoring for it. I've got a friend who's currently looking for work, and we've been playing around with his resume and using it to help try to match it to the job descriptions that are out there, just to use the right tag words and catchwords that the algorithms are looking for. There are, if you Google generative AI or ChatGPT and resumes, there's lots of videos of people that share how to do it.
Someone named Mullen Rice asks a very good question. Are there prompt guides available? Oh my goodness, yes. Lots of prompt guides. Even Jam.ai, that link I gave you earlier, she's got a lot of prompt guides, but there are tons of prompt guides available out there that can help you to give better prompts. There are even folks now who are making six figures as prompt engineers.
All right, we had another one that says, can you dive deeper into automated repetitive tasks?
I haven't done a lot of this myself. but for instance, one way that it's being used, certainly in the chatbots that you've probably used before, but it can also help you in, for instance, in Facebook, how you might message back information that you can create there, at least some automateds that can help you at least tell someone we've got your question, we're going to get back to you quickly, those kinds of things. Any others?
There's two questions that kind of tie together. It says, are other free GPTs like Bing AI more updated?
Good question. I don't have any answer for that. I don't even know if, because Bing is a part of Microsoft and Bing is now using ChatGPT. I would imagine that they're probably drawing 4.0 on that, wouldn't you, Bob? I don't know the answer to that definitively.
You know, I just know it's a very competitive field right now for the big, engines, because they all want to get all of our data and all of us using it so they can get our data, because the data is what is important to them. And so I would imagine they're trying to keep them as up to date as possible in what they're searching.
And that kind of answers Barbara Buddy's question too, that 4.0 is constantly scouring the internet, Barbara. So in theory, as far as I understand it, GPT 4.0 is as current as you could possibly get. But I'm glad that you're also reiterating that 3.5, the free version, only is current to September of 2021. Thank you.
Right.
I appreciate that.
We could spend a whole lot of time on Create Graphics, but I think Canva has some generative AI available in it now too. And next week's session is entirely on Canva and how to use it. So, Laurel, I would definitely look to next week's boot camp and see if we can get into, our presenter gets into any of that in that session.
Mage.space is a pretty interesting place to go. But again, if you go into ChatGPT 4.0, DALL-E, that's DALL-E, is built into that, which is their graphics model. If you utilize generative AI to develop a business plan you send to potential investors, will it be frowned upon? This is where I think you need to always customize the responses that come back from ChatGPT. You need to make it your own. You need to read every word. But I'll tell you, sorry, I'm about to sneeze, but the business plans that I have asked it for have really been technically executive summaries. Until you go in and refine the prompts on each of the sections, who is my competition, what is my SWOT, those kinds of things, you really don't get enough of it. You really got to drill down. But you should be, first of all, very important to remove all of those, all that formatting. That's if I see somebody who sent me something and I see lines around it, my first thought is, oh, that's ChatGPT. So get rid of that formatting first, read it through, make it your own, and I think you'll do just fine with it. But I will say to that end, sorry, but this is what we do. All of our SBDCs in Arizona have access to tremendous business plan writing software. It's called Live Plan, and we can actually get you a seat license at no cost for that. And that is the ultimate application for creating business plans, because it also includes all the financials on. We're kind of just talking about the narrative part of a business plan here. But at any SBDC, as long as you become a client, you will have access to the world-class business plan writing software that's available today. So go become a client of your SBDC, please. We're here to help, and we don't charge a penny for it.
All right. Well, we are right at time, and not sure if Daryl is still on, but we have Daryl tuning in from South Africa. So, Kevin, you are internationally known now as. So we appreciate Daryl for adjusting his time schedule, because he's about 9 hours difference, and being with us. So we're glad to have him on.
I really want to tell my boss that. That's good. Love that.
So with that, we are right at time. We appreciate everybody being with us. And I hope you enjoyed this. We did get some good comments. I appreciate the comments in the chat for Kevin's presentation. We want to thank Kevin for preparing this. You may ask about some of those prompts he's using with Superior. I'm going to be with Kevin, and I think next week, doing this presentation in Superior with the city and the Chamber of Commerce. So we targeted some of it specifically for that presentation. But again, thanks everybody for being here. We hope to see you next Tuesday. Until then, everybody have a great rest of your week and a great weekend.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bob, are you hanging out or what are you doing?
I'm leaving. We'll
All
talk
right.
to you soon.
See you later.